They say the dead don't talk, that once a voice is silenced, it stays that way forever, but what if you tuned into the wrong frequency? And the dead picked up the call? This is the story of Walter Griggs, a Vietnam War veteran who just wanted peace and quiet, but what he found was the Echo Man. Walter lived alone in a dusty little cabin in the woods outside Asheville, North Carolina, the kind of place where even the birds flew quiet. He was 73, half-deaf, and mostly forgotten. But he liked it that way. After all, Walter had been through hell and Nam. His only real friend? A clunky old shortwave radio from 1971, still buzzing with life on stormy nights. He used it to listen to static mostly. Said it helped him sleep. Said it kept the memories away. But the memories weren't what haunted him. Not yet. It started on a Wednesday. Walter was dozing off in his recliner, radio hissing softly beside him, when he heard it. A voice. Soft, broken, familiar. "Griggs, it's Donnie. You copy?" Walter froze. Donnie Myers had been in his unit. Walter had watched him bleed out in a rice field in 1969, so he did what any sane man would do. He turned the damn radio off. Unplugged it. Went to bed with a drink in his hand. But that voice wouldn't leave him. Even in sleep, I'd echoed, "They're coming, Griggs." The next morning, Walter told himself it was PTSD. Old brains crack in weird ways. It happens. He even laughed a little about it over coffee. But when he plugged the radio back in, "This is Private Castillo. I repeat, this is Castillo. Contact in 72 hours. Get clear. Echo Man is watching." Castillo was dead too. Died in the same ambush as Donnie. Buried with full honors. Walter had been at the funeral. And yet the voice was real, clear, timed, like a military transmission. But from where? Or worse, from when? Over the next few nights, the voices came more often. Names Walter hadn't heard in decades, men he'd watched die. "It's Sergeant Banks. You have to listen now. The Echo Man feeds on memory. He knows where you are." Walter started writing the messages down. Coordinates, dot times, warnings, and one repeating line that chilled him to the bone. "You brought him back, Griggs. You listened too long. He's in the frequency now." Walter hadn't believed in ghosts. Now he wasn't sure these were ghosts at all. One stormy night, Walter turned the dial past the normal range. Static screamed. Lights flickered. Then, silence. And then, "I hear you, Griggs." Not a familiar voice. Low, inhuman, cold like winter steel, the Echo Man. "You left me there, in the jungle, buried in screams. It needed your voice to come home." Walter felt something crawl across his skin. He turned the radio off, but the voice kept talking from the unplugged speaker. The next morning, his neighbor's dog was found dead. Its head twisted like it had heard something too loud to bear. Then the TV started speaking in code. His walls began to bleed static noise. The coordinates the dead soldiers gave him matched the houses of people who suddenly went missing, one by one, all gone, just erased. And all Walter could hear now was this: "The Echo Man is real, and he's almost here." Walter went on air one last time. He used the shortwave to send out his own message. "This is Walter Griggs, former sergeant, U.S. Army. If you're hearing this, do not tune to 7.3 megahertz. Don't listen to the static. He lives in there now. He wears our voices, and he never stops listening." That was the last anyone heard from Walter. When they searched his... Some say Walter went mad. Others say he finally joined his platoon. And a few say the Echo Man took his voice too. So if you ever find an old radio at a yard sale and the dial feel too cold in your hand, don't turn it on. Because some frequencies don't just broadcast. They listen back. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button. Share it with someone who still remembers the sound of static. And if you ever hear a voice calling you from the wrong side of the airwaves, don't answer. Subscribe now for more stories like this one. Because next week, we're heading even deeper into the dark. Until then, keep your dial turned low and your ears turned off. This has been The Echo Man. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and thanks for watching.